Hi class, this is Mrs. Eaton, and this is the PowerPoint that I would like you to watch for homework. It will give you a little bit of information about some pet peeves that I have in my class. And if you learn how to control these pet peeves, then I think it will help you be far more successful. So your homework is to watch this video and to take notes on it as you watch it. Okay, so you will see that I have 3 pet peeves: timeliness, reticence, and disregard. Don't you love the pun, pet peeves, and then these little cats and a dog? Well, that's my way of introducing you to some ways to be successful in this English class. So let's start with timeliness. The first thing about timeliness is that you should be on time. I'm going to be on time, and you should be on time. It's a rare day that I'm not standing in front of the class, the agenda on the board, and we are ready to go the minute the bell rings. This is an advanced course. I don't have time to waste time, and I won't. You will find that throughout the year. You need to be on time, but sometimes you can't. I understand that. And so there's a right way to be late and a wrong way to be late, and the wrong way to be late is to saunter. Hey, that sounds like a vocabulary word. So what does it mean to saunter? Sauntering connotes that you're sashaying down the hallway without a care in the world. You are in no hurry whatsoever to get to where you're supposed to be. And that's the wrong way to come to my class. If you are going to be late, then I expect you to hustle. That means you get there as fast as you can. You don't disturb anybody when you walk in. You sit down, you open up your notebook, and you start on the warm-up that will be on the board. So a big goal for you this year should be to be on time in my class. Another thing that should be on time is your homework. Now, I understand that, again, sometimes your homework's going to be late. If it does come in late, it comes in with a late form. It might be late because you were absent, and there's a box for that on the late form. It might be late because you messed up and didn't get your work done, and you check off the box for the appropriate penalty. Or it might be late, but you've talked to me in advance, and I've given you an exemption, and you check off that box. Whichever the argument is, the form needs to be filled out completely, stapled to the assignment, and turned into me. One way to be sure that your work isn't late is to pay attention to the calendars that I'm going to give you every month. They show due dates, they show quizzes, tests, reading schedules, and an approximation of what we're going to do in class each day. Please follow that calendar. I follow it. I expect you to follow it. You're juniors. I'm not going to follow around long behind you and keep reminding you of due dates. I just expect that you're going to be able to read and pay attention to the calendar. If you miss the calendar, there's always one posted on Blackboard if you've lost the one I gave you in class, but it is your responsibility to keep up with the calendar. Now, another part of timeliness is being in school. And I understand that sometimes you have to be absent, but frequent absences are a key problem to success in our class. If you are absent, here's what you need to do. You need to, 1, go on Blackboard and see what the agenda for the day was and do the warm-up. Even if you're absent, you're responsible for the warm-up. You put in the date, you write absent next to it, and if there's a warm-up posted with the agenda on Blackboard, you do it to the best of your ability. Then when you come into class, you see me, because I probably have papers for you, and I can clarify any confusion you have about what you missed while you were gone, and we can schedule makeup time if it's something that will require you to stay after school. So timeliness is really important to me, and it's something that will help you be successful in my class. Another pet peeve of mine is reticence. That sounds like another vocabulary word. So what does it mean to be reticent? Well, if you're reticent, you don't speak often or frequently. You avoid speech. You're rather shy with expressing yourself, and you have a lack of communication. In an English class, that's a real problem. In our class, we are going to have a lot of discussions. You'll be discussing things with the people in your pod. You'll be discussing things in seminar. You'll be discussing things with a partner. You'll be discussing things with the whole class. You'll be discussing things with me. You'll be discussing things with yourself in your writing. You cannot be reticent and expect to be successful. You will get a participation grade in my class and participation is a big part of your ability to think through what you're doing. One of the places that this becomes an issue is class discussion. I love English because it's not a right or wrong subject. 2 plus 2 is always going to equal 4. But so often in English, we don't have right or wrong. We just have well defended or not well defended. And so as we talk about tone or characterization or motivation or syntax or plot or theme, all of those ideas are up for debate. And if you are not participating in the discussions with that, you are not getting the most out of the class. So please do not be reticent when it comes to class discussions. You can also be reticent in your writing, meaning I've asked you to think about something and you do 2 sentences and you're done. Well, that's not the spirit of what I'm asking you to do when I ask you to write something. Mark Twain said, "I write so I know what I think." And I truly believe that the more we write down our ideas, the more those ideas become clarified in our mind and we can articulate them better. So the writings that we do in here need to be thoughtful and thorough. Does that mean I want mindless 2 pages of blithering mindlessness? No, not at all. But it also doesn't mean that I want 2 sentences and I put my pen down and I check off the box that I've done what I think I've done. Okay? Be thoughtful in your writing and don't be reticent. And the other way that reticence becomes a problem in the class is personal reticence. If you have a problem, please let me know. I've often say I can't fix the problem if I don't know there's a problem. And if I can't know there's a problem, I can't make your experience in my class better. So talk to me in person, send me an email, drop a note on my desk. But if you have an issue, I really want to help you fix it and I want to know about it. So please speak with me. This is about self-advocating. You're a junior, and I don't need mom sending me an email saying you don't have your homework because you were in the emergency room last night. I need you saying that to me. If you haven't given me a reason not to trust you, of course I'm going to trust you. And you're the person in my class, so you're the person that should be discussing this with me. I'm really stressing self-advocation, which means you cannot be reticent in your communication with me. Now, our third pet peeve is pretty scruffy and beat up looking. It's because that's what happens. Things kind of fall apart when you are disregarding life. And here are a couple things I'd like you to pay attention to and have regard for at school. One is the honor code. We're going to have an early discussion of that the first couple days of school, and then we'll continue to talk about it as the year progresses. The honor code is an important issue in school. I expect you to do your own work and to not share your work. There's one thing if I say this is partnered work, but something like this homework, for instance, this is your thinking and your work. It doesn't require you going on the internet. It doesn't require you getting information from a friend. And so, for instance, if somebody says, I didn't get to watch Mrs. Eaton's PowerPoint last night, will you give me your notes? The answer is no, because the honor code stipulates that you do your own work. Another element I'd like you to pay attention to is the recycling buckets throughout the school and in our classroom. There's recycling buckets for cans and bottles and then separate ones for paper. Please make sure that you're only putting those items in the recycling buckets. The honor students that are doing the volunteer work to sort and collect these things really don't need to be picking out your Kleenexes and, Hershey bar wrappers from all the stuff that they're recycling. And as well as that, I'd appreciate you not putting trash in the desks. I have to clean them out, the custodians have to clean them out, and we certainly have trash receptacles in the classroom that you should be using. As far as the class goes, I'd also like you to have regard for the other people in the class. You certainly will not agree with everything that's said in class, otherwise it would be pretty boring. There should be controversy about the things we're reading, but that doesn't mean that we have disregard for other people's ideas and thought process. And so when you disagree with someone, I'd like you to do it in an academic, respectful, intellectual way. Another thing I'd like you to have regard for is the fact that the school is really working to have a uniformity in how assignments are turned in. So the WTW style guide shows you the format for all work that's submitted in my class, unless I give you instructions otherwise. This is the format. You'll see that there's a header at the top of the page that's automatically put in. on every page. Then on the left-hand margin is your name, my name, the period, and the due date, and then a title centered on the line below that. If you have any problems with this format, please let me know, because I can help you figure out how to set it up so that you have a template and you just automatically put your assignments in that way. As a matter of fact, right now, the piece of paper that you're taking notes on, stop a minute and put in the format like this. You'll put in a pretend header in handwriting at the top, and then the rest of the heading and a title for this. And that is a good way for you to start getting in the habit that everything you turn in is going to have this formatting to it. Also, I'd like you to pay attention to your Blackboard email address. In student information, you should go in and check your Blackboard email address, because I'm going to be sending you things through that, and other class members, when we're in groups, might be sending you things through that, and so that needs to be activated. It's also through Blackboard that you can send me an email, but if you send me an email without an updated address, it's going to come from none@none.com, and I can't reply to that. So please make sure that you do that as well. Now it's your turn. And what I'd like you to do is something a little more Englishy, and we're kind of done with the formalities of class. I'd like you to make a connection. Pick one of the pets in this lesson and answer the following question in a thoughtful paragraph. How does the image of that pet match the concept of his name? So timeliness, reticence, and disregard. Pick one of them and see why their image matches the concept. And after you've done that paragraph, I'd like you to do another one and tell me about a pet peeve you have. What complaint do you have about a class? Think about classes in the past that have annoyed you, or procedures that have bothered you. Give me one complaint, please, and then match that to some kind of animal metaphor, just like I've done in this PowerPoint. That should be your second paragraph at the end of this notes section. Tomorrow, when you come to class, or whatever the next day you come to class is, I will collect these, and this will be your first homework assignment for English. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate you doing this. Bye.